brand to life in a unique way. But it should come after the strategic work and the positioning, not before. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see, especially with small to medium enterprise businesses, with limited budgets, is the rush to execute before they've done their strategic homework. So they don't have a positioning, a clarity in terms of who they are, what they stand for, to whom and why, and how they go about it. They want to rush to, no, give me my freshman website. I said, well, what do you want? Well, it needs to look more modern and contemporary. And I don't like that picture and that image and this, that, and the other. And, it's all shotgun and they execute and nothing changes because strategically, they haven't pointed their guns in the right direction. You may get lucky, 1 in 100 will in the shotgun will shoot a bird down. But more often than not, they should have started where they need to go, which is do the strategy first and your homework and your positioning before you actually brief your creative design.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned brand DNA and kind of touched on it. What role does brand DNA play, and how can people start to think about that and identify some of the areas they need to look at when it comes to their DNA?
Your brand DNA, at the heart of it is the promise, and then your brand DNA will govern everything that your organization does first and says. So it will govern corporate strategy, the overarching decisions and choices that you make to drive your business. It will guide and influence how your people internally behave. Do they walk the talk? Your culture, which is the first kind of thing. If you can't convert your own people, how do you expect to convert customers? It will determine your products and services. Are they delivering against your key promise within your brand DNA? Do you need to change them? Have you got the portfolio in the right way? So those are all core kind of tangible things. It's all, they're not going to give you the answer that you're looking for. And whereas, the really experienced strategists have got enough confidence to really boil that down and help you make tough choices, simplify the complexity and take out the jargon and make it unequivocal, frighteningly difficult to misinterpret what you mean. And that takes courage and it takes some confidence, because there are always alternative ways of doing things. But having the courage to be very, very single-minded and focused, that is ultimately a skill that you develop through years of experience. And I'm going to qualify that. There are some young strategists and designers out there who are inherently brilliant and are really good, and they stand a mile apart. They are there, but there are many, many, many more imitators who do not have those skill sets or competence. And so it's a real caveat emptor world out there for clients. And by the way, I should also qualify that by saying the imposter syndrome is alive and well. The number of people that come to me who are super smart, you can tell you've got it in there as well with just a few words of exchange, but who have the imposter syndrome of saying, well, I didn't get a marketing degree from Harvard or Oxford. I didn't work for the big agencies. I've only worked on moderate-sized brands in and around Salford, or whatever it is. But you got it. It does not mean that they're not capable. They may not have had the opportunities at that time. So there's everything out there at the moment. So it must be difficult if you're looking for a strategic partner. If I was a client, it would be difficult.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're right as well. I think especially from a creative perspective, and creative, not just obviously, I don't mean just visuals, but creative in terms of creative thinking. I think there is a tendency for creative thinkers to have that downplaying of themselves a little bit, to have that kind of, I think it's a natural thing. I don't know why it goes hand in hand, but it seems to. And I completely agree. There's a lot of really talented individuals out there who don't promote themselves enough, or don't feel they're allowed to because of some reason.